Hi, Lauren. How are you? What brings you in today?
Hey Malia. So I've got a work thing going on.
Okay.
Last week, well, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna give you context because it's confusing. So I used to supervise a 24/7, 365 unit at my work. So there's always somebody there, and so my phone would ring all the time. And I did that for 5 years. I started in 2020 in the middle of COVID.
Okay.
So yeah, and it's always new employees. So you're constantly training people, your phone's always ringing, someone's on night shift and they're confused. I got burnt out. I tell people, I say that tell folks the shelf life of this position is like 2 years. Like people don't make it past 2 years, and I did it for five. Um, I got a lot of relief when September 2024, we hired somebody in. So it used to be it was me and then I supervised the unit. Well, this guy is like between us now. So it was me, I supervised him, he's a supervisor, and then he had that unit, and then I got other programs. So I got to do new
Okay.
stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and when he came in, like I trained him and stuff, but then my life got so much better, right? Like my phone wasn't ringing, I could breathe. Um,
Mhm.
and like I was anxious all the time. Like I struggled, just high anxiety.
Mhm.
Well, last week, he put in his 2 weeks notice and he's leaving.
Okay.
And his last day is Thursday.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like when I was thinking about it last week, I was like, okay, I could do this. I got to say four. I still know how to supervise that team. Like that's not an issue. I know how to do all that work still. Like there have been some changes, but like most of the changes had to come through me anyway. So that whatever, I know how to do the job. That's fine. And last week I was trying to figure out like, okay, is the guy actually going to quit or not? Because he's not a very trustworthy person. It's not like he himself isn't a loss to the organization, but that role is. And so it's like I was thinking, what if he quits? What if he doesn't quit? What's this look like? What are my options? Well, he's going through with it. And then I've just found in like the last, what's today, Monday, last like 3 or 4 days, my anxiety has just been increasing exponentially, thinking about the looming deadline of him leaving and what that looks for me.
Right. So you spent 5 years in an overwhelming, anxiety-producing, 24/7 job that most people only survive 2 years in, if that. And now you're losing the person, even if he's not incredibly trustworthy, you're losing the person who gave you relief from that anxiety.
Yeah.
And so the thought of going back to what you were delivered from
Hmm.
is bringing all that anxiety right back up to the surface.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I mean, I've been like, I was at a crossroads where he was starting to just, for lack of a better term, just do stupid things. I was having to discipline him, and he screwed up last week, and like, he knows he messed up, and I think he knew that he was gonna get disciplined by me. Like, he knew it was coming, and so he opted just to like, right, just to bail. He texted me, by the way. He said, "Hey, boss, sorry to do this to you. I'm going to text or email you later about resigning." So I keep telling everyone I got dumped over text. That's how I was saying it. So like that's the type of character like that we're dealing with here. And I had been talking to a coworker last few months, weighing this like, is he just good enough? Right? He just needed to be good enough. So I didn't have to like discipline him to get rid of him to go back to this anxiety inducing state. What was my threshold? What was I willing to deal with to save myself? And I was about at the point where it was, okay, he's not good enough. I have to deal with it. So like the problem's taking care of itself. And I thought that was going to be enough and that would be like the relief of that would overcome whatever I was feeling going forward. But so far that's just not the case. Like I physically feel it. Like I feel my heart racing. I feel like my thoughts racing. I'm breathing fast. Like I physically, I'm a very like bodily sensation focused feelings person. And then I start getting anxiety about being anxious. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it's
Mm.
it's stacking, and it's just getting worse.
You feel overwhelmed, you feel anxious, and you feel it in your body.
Hmm.
And then that feeling of anxiety in your body is causing more anxiety in your body.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I stop and I'm like, I think to myself, like, I should be able to deal with this. I've dealt with it before. Like, I know how to deal with anxiety. Like, I'm trying all of the things, right? Like, I'm doing breathing and I'm trying to rest. And I don't know if you've ever seen, so I have one of these, like, it's an aura ring and it
Hmm.
like tracks like your heart rate and everything and like your stress level. And yesterday, I'm literally sitting on the couch watching TV and it says, like, this graph, it says stressed and it's like stressed all the way at the top. And afterwards, I'm like, what is happening? And I'm like, that's when I started realizing, I'm like, oh, like I could, like I said, I could feel it. And I started thinking, I'm like, I am dreading this like looming day. His last day's Thursday because he works a weird shift right now. And I'm just like dreading this looming thing that's coming. And it's like I'm feeling feelings in advance of them coming
Mhm.
because I just like I vividly remember what that was like and what that experience was like and everything that it entailed. Um, and like there's nothing I can do. Like I have to supervise this unit. Like I am it. Until we fill a position, it's me. So I am just stuck. Like, because I'm not going to let it fail. I care too much about the employees, the organization, and like someone has to do the job. Um, but it's like I don't give this image in my mind of oh like when a train is on like the train tracks and like they can't stop, right? Like it's gonna there's a car stuck on the tracks and that car is this guy's last day and I'm going to barrel into it and barrel through it and have to keep moving. Like that's kind of the experience that it's been. Just thinking about Thursday coming and going.
Yeah. So you feel just a lack of control
Hmm.
over what's going to happen and the anticipation of going back into a role that caused you so much anxiety and so much worry and probably loss of sleep and
Hmm.
all of the struggles. But you're the only one. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of pressure that you're feeling.
Hmm. And I am the only one. I mean, there's
Yeah.
there's someone that like step up and help with some stuff, and everyone thinks like she's the natural fit to apply to this guy's job, but she keeps telling, oh, I don't want it.
Mm.
Because I think he made it look harder than it needed to be. Like he was super dramatic. Actually, like, he just wasn't good. He like would argue with other units, and I have to step in and fix it and be like, dude, what are you doing? And so all this other lady knows is, oh, that's what all that job entails. But it was because it was him, like not because it's the job. Because like I managed to do it well successfully. I would say I did it successfully. So then I'm like, what if she doesn't apply? Like, what if no one applies? Like, I'm just worst case, like, I'm catastrophizing, I guess.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm gonna have to supervise this forever. My life's gonna suck. I'm gonna burn out. Like, I'm just spiraling downhill, which again, then I'll start like feeling it, and then my ring yells at me, is what I say, right? Um, and so it's like I said, I just know everything that it entails. I know people are gonna call me in the middle of the night. I know people are gonna make mistakes, and someone's gonna call me and complain about it
Mhm.
and then I have to address it. And a lot of that is evidence based, right? Like,
Mhm.
because I did it for so long, I know what's likely to happen. And it's a lot. And I don't know, I'm afraid that I'm gonna get back to that miserable place again, that burnt out place, that exhausted place. And I have too many other things in my life that I care about right now that I want
Mhm.
to prioritize.
Mhm.
Um, and it's like, I say the whole thing, it just feels unfair. I
Yeah.
guess is how I'd put it, that I have to deal with all this because someone else essentially threw a tantrum and quit.
Right. Right. So you feel frustrated with
Hmm.
him that
Hmm.
he is really bringing all of this stress back on you in a way.
Hmm.
Um, you know how to do the job, how, how to be successful, but you just don't want to do it because you know how much stress
Yeah,
it caused you before.
yeah. I mean, straight up, yeah, I don't want to do it. Like, I
Right.
just wish I could be like, nope, I'm not doing that. Yeah. and I can't just say no. Like, and it's like I could, this sounds kind of like pessimistic. I could like care less. Right? Like, what are my standards for success in this unit? And I could probably lower them because this guy lowered them and nothing bad has happened in the last year. So then I'm like, do I care less? But then what does that say about my character? Right? Like,
Mhm.
and I just feel like how I handle this is going to say a lot about, like I said, my character to other people in the office. If I just step in and roll with it, if I almost said crash and burn, but I won't crash and burn. Like I won't let myself, but I will. I won't crash and burn at work, but like here I will, right? Like at home, like I will burn out. I'll be exhausted. So it's like I'm trying to figure out how much do I sacrifice myself for the sake of this unit, and then based off how much I sacrifice, like what does that say about me, right? And so it's like
Right.
um, I'm just weighing all that because the last thing I want to do is wait for it to burn me out and then react afterwards. Like I want to be proactive and like I know I need to be proactive. Like that's what the anxiety is telling me, right? Like be proactive, address it now, don't let it sit. And I don't know, I don't want to screw up. I say I don't want to screw it up, but not the job part, the taking care of myself part.
Right. So you're pretty confident that you are going to do a great job. You know you're going to do a great job, but you're contemplating pulling it back a little bit and
Hmm.
wondering if you could do that, if you could maybe care less, like you said, but at the same time, you feel conflicted because you care about your work. You care about what it shows about your character and your ability to not just do the bare minimum, but to go above and beyond and do a really good job. But you also are aware of what that's going to cost you personally.
Yeah. And then I start to wonder, like, do I have control over that cost? Right? Like is there a level of how do I want to put it? Like is there a level that like I'm responsible for, right?
Mhm.
Like if I don't want to say if I take too many, if I encourage too many like outside of work phone calls rather than encouraging independence with my staff, like then am I responsible for the fact that I'm exhausted?
Mm.
Or if I'm constantly, I can see a lot of the communications unit is like via shared email box. I can see that at home. Like if I'm checking that at home, like is that on me then if I'm exhausted?
Right.
So how do I find that right level of like I have to check on their work to see if there's patterns. I call like patterns of failure. Like I don't nitpick and say you messed up this and this, but if everyone's doing the same thing wrong, like I gotta address it with the team, right?
Sure.
So I have to constantly kind of watch, and at the same time, like the team counts on that. Like I tell
Mhm.
them, hey, I'm reading your emails, and so they'll reach out like, hey, did you see this email? Can you answer this question? Like it gives them security too, knowing that I'm like the double check. I'm monitoring. I'll step in and kind of like save them if they've really screwed up. And
Right.
so I'm like, how much of that is necessary? I don't think this other guy was doing it. Pretty sure he never looked at his work phone because he'd always get a hold of it on his personal. And so I'm like, it clearly survived, but like, is the reputation of the unit damaged now? Is it my
Mhm.
job to fix the team's reputation because this guy kind of let it go down to the dumps? And so I'm like, how much of the stress, I guess, is what I'm trying to get is like self-inflicted. And
Right.
like, I don't know how to weigh all of that and how to figure out what's best for me and also best for the team. And like that's like a chronic struggle. So I call myself a servant leader, and that's a chronic struggle of a servant leader.
Mhm.
It's like you have to have good boundaries or people think you're way too accessible. Like
Right.
they think you're accessible all the time. And so like I always struggle with that and I know what happens if I fail at
Mhm.
balancing that. And I don't want to relive that again because my body is remembering.
Right.
My body is remembering what it felt like to fail and I don't want to do it again.
Right. Right. So right now you are thinking through if you can implement some boundaries
Mhm.
that could potentially s- salvage this experience at least until you find a replacement, and wondering how much of your involvement in the work of the unit is causing your own
Mhm.
anxiety.
it's like I have to figure out how much of myself I'm willing to give.
Hmm.
I mean, I actually, as I say that, I'm kind of like smirking. I literally, so this time last year, actually, yeah, this time last year, I was traveling to California for graduation for a master's in org leadership through the Townsend Institute.
Hmm.
And my final capstone paper was literally called "Is It Worth It?" And it was weighing the emotional exhaustion of servant leadership and like figuring out like it was literally talking about all this. Totally forgotten about this whole paper until we were talking about it. And I was
Hmm.
assessing like at what level is it worth it and is it not worth it? Because I've clearly been passionate about this. I mean, I started that program in 2023, so for 2 years.
Right.
Um, and so I just yeah, I'm just weighing in my head how much it is worth it, right?
Hmm.
Because you said it earlier, like I care about my work and I care deeply about my team. I
Hmm.
want all of them to succeed. And I care a lot about holding them accountable if they don't
Right.
succeed. I tell my team, I say, it's my job to promote you or fire you. Like, you're not supposed to stay in this unit forever, and my goal is to promote you. Like, I want to do
Hmm.
that for you in every way that I can. But I keep thinking back to is it worth it? And what level is it worth it? So I'm just, I don't know, like, I have an academic paper telling me what level is worth it, but I really want to assess, like, for me personally, what level of giving myself to this team is worth it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like I'm doing a cost benefit analysis, right? Like, but
Yeah.
like interpersonally,
Hmm.
um, because right now the anxiety I feel thinking about this coming up, it just makes me want to run. Like, it's like danger, like, it's like waving the red flags, like get far away, like avoid this. And so if I can, I don't know, figure out what is worth it for me, what cost to me is worth the benefit to the unit, then I'm hoping that can help me manage my anxiety some because
Right.
the basic things they ain't working. Right? Like I
Hmm.
said, like the breathing, it ain't working. Um, yeah, so it's just a lot swirling around in my brain right now.
Yeah. Yeah. So you feel a deep care and concern for the people that you
Hmm.
are caring for in your unit.
Hmm.
And it sounds like the focus then might be um, taking the work you've done in the paper that you wrote and processing, you know, what it looks like to actually set those boundaries
Hmm.
um, in in theory, and looking at how that plays out in your life. Like what are the costs of the weight of care that you have for the people
Hmm.
and the weight of the anxiety that is causing you in your personal life. So determining that line
Hmm.
um, is going to be really essential for you
Yeah,
as you process this next, phase in your career.
yeah, absolutely. Because the last thing I want to do is, you said like determining that line. Like, you can go over it occasionally,
Mhm.
right? Like you have boundaries and they can stretch and adjust, but like when I'm consistently letting my own boundary like be broken. Like the way I describe it to people, this is how bad it was at one point. And I tell this to everyone that I recall this like types of scenarios to, is I used to, when this was happening the first time, someone recommended me to take a hot bath. I was like, I'm not a bath person,
Mhm.
but I will try it, right? And I was like, I'm gonna go full send on the bath. I'm gonna listen to music. I'm gonna light a candle. Well, would you believe I took my work phone in there with me? And I had it sitting outside. I'm like, well, someone calls me. And I told people that they're like, Lauren, the point's to relax. And I was like, oh yeah. So then it was a huge step for me to leave my work phone in the other room, right? Like
Mhm.
that's how bad it was. So now I'm like, okay, if I took a bath, I leave my work phone. I could leave it in the other room. But like if I'm watching TV or eating dinner, like it's always right there. Like I feel this sense of duty, this sense of obligation to respond to my team when they need me.
Sure.
And that weighs heavy on me.
Mhm.
Because I feel like if they fail, then I'm responsible for that because it's my job to set them up for success.
Yeah. S- So you feel like if they fail and if you're not there for them when they need you, that might even be a reflection of you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm their leader. I'm responsible
Right.
for them. That's like, um, and it goes into the care for the employees. And no one has told me that I'm like that deep level of responsibility, right? Like I took over the unit from someone. It was a disaster. She
Mm.
sucked. Like she's still around. They keep giving me her employees to fix, but that's a whole other topic. And like, yeah, it's just because I've seen what happens when supervisors don't invest in their team. I
Right.
feel a duty to do that.
Right.
Um, to ensure their success. Because I tell my team, I'm like, if you succeed, that means I've succeeded. And if I succeed, the unit has succeeded. And with all that, then the organization wins. Like that's how it's
Right.
supposed to work. And it starts with them succeeding. Um, and that happens. I guess I won't say that only happens. It's kind of absolute. If I am in lockstep with them and we are linked up side by side, just trying to accomplish the mission.
Right. Well, you've shared a lot, a lot. You're going through a lot right now. Your body is anticipating the anxiety that's coming because
Mhm.
you've already experienced it.
Mhm.
And you're weighing um, that balance between leading well, caring deeply for your employees, but
Mhm.
also making sure that you have room in your life to rest, to relax, to recuperate, and not sacrifice your personal uh, priorities.
Mhm.
So I think I'm looking at the time and we're coming up to the end of our meeting, but examining that line and finding that balance might be a great place to start in our next meeting.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Cut.
Great. Nicely done.
Wow.
Um, I'll just
Wow.
start right at the first thing in the front of my mind. I really liked how you ended. I'm always just like, well, that's all we got. I'm like, see ya. So, I just learned a lot from you and the way you ended
Oh,
that. It felt very natural.
good.
Uh, you reflected the last thing I said before you ended, which is something I paid attention to with my last two work partners. So that was really good. Um, I'm trying to think. Okay, so what was some of the good stuff? It was really interesting for me. This is like some of my own self-reflection. I normally talk really, really fast in
Hmm.
these like role plays. Um, but I felt like, oh, what's a good word? I felt like you were mirroring me very well, and you were more like physically responsive than some of my other partners have been.
Hmm.
And so it calmed me down a lot.
Oh,
And I
good.
felt at one point I was like, oh, I'm talking really slow. And like I would stop and try to find a word, and you just gave me space to do that. So I felt myself more relaxed with you than I have been in some of my other calls.
Oh,
So
thanks.
really good job on that, on just being present and allowing the space for me to connect my ideas in a. I'm a pretty abstract thinker, and I also am
Hmm.
very I can share about my work. So
Hmm.
I appreciated you just leading space for that.
Yeah.
And I felt like you followed my story well. Because I never even told you where I worked. I never told you these people are doing.
Yeah.
And you followed it very well.
Hmm.
So yeah, that was good. Let's see. Feedback. Or like what is it like the nothing broke connection. I don't think broke connection at all. Let's see. Any responses that were not accurate or were not facilitative? Let me think. Mm, um, I felt like you focused at a good time because I kept waiting to see when you were going to do that. So I know that's not the constructive feedback. I'm still giving you good things. Yeah, I'm kind of the same boat as you were, trying to think of something. Your paraphrases were also longer, but I also was talking in long chunks. And personally, I felt like you captured more of my story, so I appreciated that. I didn't find
Okay.
myself thinking like, I wish you would quit talking so I could keep talking. Like
Yeah.
I wasn't like, please stop. Um, so even though they were longer, like I felt like that was really good.
Okay.
Oh, I got my one constructive thing.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it'd just be worth for you looking. Um, there was at one point, it was accurate. I just don't know if it was accurate for the stages in our role play.
Probably not. I'm
That's
usually
the
like
only thing.
4 or 5.
It was the me feeling responsible for my team. I think you may have hit a reflection of meaning, and it was
Yeah.
dead on. I was
Yeah.
like, yes, this is dead on. But my only feedback would be it may have been outside with the assigned
Yeah,
stages.
I felt that. I was like, whoops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was it. I was like, I was trying to remember. I was like, I thought there was one thing. So that would be the only thing, but that's just for the sake of the class and the
Yeah.
assignments. Um, Overall, I felt like you attuned well. You're very present. Um, and yeah, like you changed your tone of voice to match as you're paraphrasing. That's not something I've experienced with a lot of folks. And so yeah, it was really helpful actually.
Okay.
I was like, man, I probably should look at that paper and compare. I was like, I could make like an actual plan. I was like, this actually might be helpful. Like I forgot about that paper, and
Oh,
as
wow.
I'm talking to you, I was like, oh wait, I wrote this thing. So like
I can actually go
I
apply
gained
this.
yeah, so I gained some new insights, and
Good.
all it took was you just reflecting back. So I really appreciated that. So yeah, job well done.
Okay, thank you. Well, that was fun. Yeah. So it's funny, because you mentioned debriefing at the very end about the reflecting meaning. I was thinking about it, but I didn't mean to say it. But then I said it. I was like, whoops.
It happens.
Oh well.
It happens.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll stop the recording and then yeah, we can chat a bit
Deal.
more.
Good deal.